Hey, I'm Randy and you're watching The Cheap Audio Man. Here at The Cheap Audio Man, we talk about high-value hi-fi home theater and headphone, and today we're talking about the perfect speaker collection at different price points. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's talk about why you should own more than one speaker. This hobby is completely subjective to begin with. We like what we like. And what we like is not what our friend may like. Some of us like a lively speaker on top. Some of us like maybe a more rolled off speaker, something that has a little richer mid-range. However, even with our own unique proclivities and tastes in music or frequency response, when we enjoy our music with a different flavor put on it by a different speaker, it resets our brain. As far as what we were used to listening to, we start to appreciate different parts of the music that maybe weren't as revealed on our other set of speakers. I always say the best $1,000 speaker is two sets of $500 speakers that sound different. So today we're going to talk about different price points and different speakers that I think you should take a look at if you're wanting to start to speaker collect. So the under $300 range, I have these laying right here. I have the other ones back there, but they're at the bottom of the pile of speakers. So I don't think anybody would be surprised if they watch my channel at all. The Sony SSCS5 is what I would consider the exciting, the fun speaker in this group. That comes in usually around $170. It used to be $150. However, these all go on sale from time to time. That speaker has very good bass clarity, a little bit of a bump at the top of the mid-range, probably around the 1700 range, and then a little bit of a rise on top as well. Images, sound stages, does everything better than it should at the price. The other speaker is the ELAC BS41. Interestingly enough, these were just on sale recently, both at the same time. The ELAC price usually is around $150, can go up to $160, but down to maybe $140. So with the ELACs at around $150 and well, the Sony's around $150, you can buy both of those speakers for $300 all in. The ELACs are going to give you maybe a more rolled off experience, a little bit warmer experience in the vocals and the lower mids. And mid bass is actually fuller, which is kind of ironic because the BS41 from ELAC has a 4-inch woofer. Those two speakers sound different enough that they're going to give you a completely different experience when you switch them out. And they're both very small. So even if you live in an apartment or a house that is small, you can put these just about anywhere if you stack them up correctly. You can put them under your desk. Generally speaking, there is going to be room for these speakers. And most of these speakers are going to be on the small side. They don't take up a huge amount of space in the house. So for $300, you have the ELAC BS41, Sony SSCS5. Speaker collection for under $500 or around $500. Here's the thing about speakers. They jump around with price. There are some companies that use a pricing strategy, and that is to float around about 3 different prices. Klipsch, Sony, ELAC, Polk, all utilize a floating pricing structure, which means they go on sale. KEF is chief offender number one because they will really drop their prices and then people will be, oh my goodness, it's a sale. They run out and buy them because they feel it's a legitimate sale when it's really just a pricing strategy. And that speaker is usually a good deal at its sale price. Anyway, I digress. So the $500 category. If the $300 category was fun, the $500 category is going to be a circus for your ears. Exciting speaker, the Emotiva B1 Plus, $250. You get an AMT tweeter, incredible clarity on top, a fairly linear frequency response, and some punchy bass in there. It's a very, very good speaker. I'm still shocked and surprised every time I listen to the Emotiva B1 Plus. So that's speaker number one, $250. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult. The prices on these other two speakers kind of fluctuate a little bit. The warmer, richer speaker that I will recommend is the Polk ES15. Right now it's $300, but that regularly goes on sale down to, I think, $200 sometimes. So if you get it on sale, you're actually coming way under budget. The other speaker to take a look at is the Wharfedale Diamond 12.0. Again, its pricing kind of goes up and down. I'm looking at it right now. I see one pair for $199 and then a different color for $279. Those speakers are going to give you enough of a different flavor that you can put them up and enjoy your music all over again. And if you want to save money, you could get something like the ELAC BS41 for around $150. That's still a great combination. So you can mix and match which speakers you want to choose for depending upon your budget, your speaker collecting budget. Let's ramp it up to $1,000. At the $1,000 mark, there's a few ways that you can go, but the one that I would recommend to take a look at first is the ELAC debut reference. This is still to this day one of my favorite speakers, and it does obviously go on sale again. Right now it's selling for $700. Regularly goes down to around $600. At $700, I think it's pushing it a little bit as far as how much that speaker is worth, but everybody increased prices now, so $700 is the new $600 apparently. The debut reference is warm enough, but also throws a huge soundstage, is beautiful, front ported, and is not going to be fatiguing at all. How are we going to get super exciting and super fun out of the last 300? Well, it's going to be the Yamaha C93-2s, which is a heavily discounted but extremely fun speaker. It's well built. Mid-range, not the star of the show. There's an emphasis on the bass, emphasis on the treble. Very exciting speaker. Very different sounding speaker from the debut reference. There's a couple other options you could look at underneath $1,000. ELAC comes up again with the Unify 2.0. That comes in around $550. Depends on sales, things like that. It goes up and down. That's a very neutral speaker, so it can, in certain situations, sound pretty exciting. Sometimes it can. I don't think that speaker's ever sounded warm to me, but it can sound pretty exciting. And then you could look at the new Emotiva B2 Plus, which I think comes in around $400 or $450. And for $1,000, you've got a combination that is going to check off every box out there. Now, the ELAC 2.0 is not going to be super warm, while the B2 Plus is going to be pretty exciting. But the Unify 2.0 is a three-way with concentric drivers, so there is a huge dispersion, vertical and horizontal. So huge sweet spot with the ELAC Unify 2.0. These speakers aren't big either. So again, you can kind of stack them away in a closet. I hope you enjoyed this video. What I really wanted to convey is that I think it's so much fun to enjoy different sound signatures with different speakers, and you can do that without spending a huge amount of money. And sometimes if your budget's $1,000, maybe you should buy 2 speakers instead of just 1. So if you want to support the channel, you can sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Every Sunday night we have Patreon-only Zooms. We also have a Discord group and a Facebook group. You can use the links in the description. Those are affiliate links, which means if you click and you buy, I do get a commission, but it doesn't cost you any more, so it's a great way to support the channel. You can check out my video, worst to first speakers under $300 right here. It's a fun video, but don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge listen. Oh, that's Octopus. Binge listen and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.